Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, and today this is going to be quite a quick video today. I want to keep it short. Let's see. 'Cause I always say that, don't I? And then it ends up being a bit longer than I planned. But hopefully this time it will be a bit shorter. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about Lionsgate, as many of you know, particularly will be aware of this. And this is a significant time of the year, particularly in Western astrology as well. Because as you know, I look at both systems. Obviously, I'm a neo-Vedic astrologer, so I include the outer planets with my Vedic astrology. But of course, significant things like Lionsgate are still very pertinent and relevant to talk about at this time. And before I continue, please don't forget to like and subscribe, press the bell notification and all that jazz. Because it really helps the channel. And thank you as well to everyone for all of the support and stuff like that. And you guys are really enjoying the content and stuff like that, even though if it may not always be 100% up everybody's street, but nonetheless. You've been giving wonderful comments and feedback and stuff like that. So particularly with Hogarth, I'm glad that we've been able to kind of bring people a lot of laughs as well and some joy in these very tricky times. And I'll speak a little bit more about that on Hogarth as well. I'm going to do another, I've got a busy day tomorrow after clients. So I'm going to do another Thursday fry up tomorrow. And that's where I kind of look at some of the questions that we had left over from Hogarth, plus some fresh content as well, and a few tarot card pulls and stuff like that. So it's one of the things I'm going to look at Thursday, Friday, tomorrow. I'm going to look at Barbie, see what people think of. Oh, what's happened there? I've just frozen. Oh, come on. Oh, okay, it's come back. Barbie, and then I want to talk about a recent publication in The Guardian about social media robbing sprees. And I also want to talk about WeWork tomorrow as well, but I'll devote that for the Thursday fry up, because tonight I want it to be a bit more astrologically focused and talking about Lionsgate and stuff like that. So let's get stuck in. Lionsgate, what is that all about? It happens every year. And it happens at a certain time where the sun is through its progression through the sky, and usually when it's entering in the sign of Leo. So this is from the Western tropical point. And the dates are approximately between the 28th, 27th, 28th of July up until about the 12th of August. Yeah. With the 8th, which was a couple of days ago, being considered the peak point. Well, actually, my time now has just become the 10th of August, because it's now 2 minutes past midnight. But yesterday, of course, was the 9th. So, it's still very much active. Now, what is that about? I made some extra notes just to make sure that I get this accurate. So the Lionsgate portal, as it's referred to, is the alignment between the Earth, the star Sirius, which is also known as the dog star, and Orion, are said to intertwine. Yep, they kind of come in a sort of alignment. And the veil is considered thinner at this point of the year. I mean, look, let's just be honest. I think that the veil is thinning just all around. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the veil is kind of getting thinner than, a bunch of bald men at a bus stop. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, there is so much coming through, so much energy coming through. And on top of that, of course, we also have Venus retrograde as well, along with lots of other planets. You will have noticed, and it was the same again for my computer today. It's just straighten out my hat a bit. It was the same for my computer today. You will notice a lot of us readers and stuff have you been noticing? We've been having like technical difficulties, computers getting very slow, even though it's not technically Mercury retrograde yet. That's going to happen. I think let's just see here what I've written here on the back. Mercury retrograde. Yeah, it's going to start on August 23rd. So there will be a time period when Mercury, of course, is going to start slowing down, and then it's going to be retrograde till September 15th. But we're not technically there yet, but there are a lot of planets retrograde already, and that is part of it. So let's think about Leo. What is Leo all about? Leo is all about leadership. Leadership. Now, from the Vedic astrology perspective, the sun is actually gonna, the body of the sun from where the vantage point of the stars will enter around about 15th, 16th of August. So we don't have too long. And in fact, I'm going to share my screen with you so we can look at some of the animated transits so we can see when that transition is. But really, what is Leo about? Leo is all about leadership, isn't it? It's about leadership. It's about performing. It is about standing on the stage of life. Leo, when I'm talking with my clients as well, I always say, particularly people who've got planets in Leo, it means to manage a kingdom, it means to manage the kingdom. So it means to have quite a lot of responsibilities. There are many things that Leos have to do. It's not just showmanship, which of course is a big part of that, but it is about managing, leading, delegating duties, responsibilities. So we're going to be seeing lots of stuff, of course, to do with leaders happening in the world. As we know already, leaders might be changing position or I mean, I remember a couple of years ago where I was talking about Lionsgate, and when I was talking about the time when Leo would enter sidereal, where the sun would enter sidereal Leo, and I think at that time was the 15th, 16th of August, and the Taliban came to power. Do you remember that one? That was a little while ago now. We've been seeing things already to do with leaders, of course. We've had Imran Khan has been imprisoned, sadly. Also the same for Navalny, another leader, of course, a rival, of course, to Putin. Of course, we've got Duck Larange, as you know, or AKA Trump, who's in an absolute quagmire of a pickle. We'll have to see how things progress through the year there, but he's in a lot of difficulty. And and of course, Macron has been having a challenging time as well. Trudeau, sadly, has separated from his wife. I mean, we did this absolutely absurd read on him on Hogarth. One or two Canadians complained, but my goodness, it was very funny, and it was completely over the top and really, really not to be taken seriously, as we said, for entertainment purposes only, and that this reading would be absolutely absurd. And it was, but it was very funny for the vast majority that watched it. But nonetheless, if we look at that theme overall, new leaders will be coming in, and other leaders could be potentially having reversals as well. What does this mean, though, for you personally, or in terms of your life, etc.? Because we have all of these retrograde planets, and of course, you've heard me say ad nauseum now, around about the 5th of September, six planets are going to be retrograde, and Venus will be standing still. So really, you can call that 7, because she won't have any forward motion at that point. And when planets are retrograde, whatever they symbolize, whatever they mean in a person's chart or astrologically, you can put RE in front of the, so it's review, revise, reassess, recalibrate, everything. This energy is going to continue building up. Now, in terms of the Leo energy, with the Lion's Gate, with the everything being very thin, this is a time where a lot of people are going to have to establish their inner authority. Hear that? Inner authority. This is the time where collectively humanity has to start finding the leader within. As you will have noticed, and this will increase, by the way. Now, I've been dropping coded hints about this, that, and the other, and I have to be careful what I say, because people are very, very quite thin-skinned right now. Not everyone, but there's a lot of fearful, thin-skinned persons who are, and I don't mean it in a bad way, in the sense of expecting a lot from leaders. Yeah, let's put it that way, expecting a lot from leaders. And one of the things what I want to try and establish, particularly more with time as things go along, because things will continue to break down, And there'll be positives as well, but we see this kind of collective breaking down of the social order. There's so much kind of going on. The time now is for us collectively to go within and find that inner lion within ourselves, where we become discerning and astute. We take in information and we filter it through our systems, not only through our intellect, yeah, which can be easily fooled, by the way, but also via the spirit and the heart and the third eye, yeah, the third eye. And when we take these things in, this is about us becoming sovereign within ourselves as to the higher truths of what is going on. As you know, I've said before, many narratives are changing. Many narratives are changing. Review, revise, reassess. What we will see is, as the year progresses, many narratives that were believed to be absolute in a certain sense will turn out not to be so. And some things that were considered more fringe or more whatever may actually take on, or in fact will take on more credence. It's happening already. It's already out there. There's a lot of stuff out there, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see it on MSNBC. Yeah. And different things. But all I'm saying is this is our chance individually to go out and explore things for ourselves based on how much things have progressed over the last 3 years, because there's been a tremendous amount of development, a tremendous amount of new information, lots of stuff coming out, let alone about all the alien stuff, which is astonishing, isn't it, that we're not really talking about this more. Yeah, because when we consider that essentially governments and people within governments are basically giving full disclosure, maybe not full disclosure, but plentiful disclosure, of course, about alien activity and all of this kind of stuff, which could mean incredible things for humanity. Who is it that we're talking about? Yeah, most of the time we're going to be talking about who? Dark Larange, who I also refer to, as you know, one of my nicknames to him is Black Mirror. Yeah, reflecting that shadow side. But my other one, apart from Dark Larange, is that he's a weapon of mass distraction. Yeah, so we're distracted, we're pulled in different directions. There's so much happening. It's almost impossible to absorb everything. So what I would urge people, anyone viewing this, and hello if you're viewing this later on or tomorrow or anything like that. I hope you're having a nice coffee or cup of tea or something like that. This really is an opportunity for humanity to start going into personal sovereignty. God, look what's going on with the internet here. Do you see how the picture's breaking up? Literally, it's just you and I don't even have anything on the multiple stream. Anyway, never mind. Such is life. So this is about, yes, cultivating, developing inner sovereignty. What I'm noticing, or what I've noticed, is that there are a lot of narratives from all directions, and I'm not going to say specifically one side or the other. Oh, come on, computer, what's going on here? But there's multiple narratives, shall we say, that may have been absorbed, yeah, and assumed to be correct. But now things are changing, because listen, you can't have 6 planets retrograde and 1 planet standing still, and Mars be the only planet going direct. Now look, Sun and Moon are always direct. Rahu and Ketu, the nodes of the Moon, are always retrograde. So that's not unusual. But Mars will be the only planet literally in the sky moving direct. There are so many things that are happening, and I think I'll explore that a bit more in Thursday Fry, where I'll go into a bit more of that detail. But everything is shifting. Just be aware, everything is shifting, moving. Remember, Neptune has moved out of sidereal Aquarius now and is now in Pisces. So the kind of spell that was cast on humanity while Neptune was in sidereal Aquarius, which deals with humanity, everyone. Yeah, remember as well, the shadow of Neptune is illusions, delusions, fog, gaslighting. Yeah, the higher energies, of course, are spirituality, music, art, and this is something that we really need to look at as well. Leo as a sign is a very, very creative sign. It really is. And this is why it's associated with acting and performers and stuff like that. If you'll see, of course, at the moment, there's the writers' dispute in Hollywood. And I went to see Barbie today. And one thing I can tell you is that it was very thin on trailers when we were in there. Very thin, because obviously, you know, a lot of films that would be kind of nearing the end of their production, you get the trailers out earlier because it's like coming next November. Yeah, but they would still technically be finishing off the film, doing the last things in post-production, stuff like that. I used to do a lot of film stuff once upon a time, and it was noticeably scant. Yeah, very few. There was only about we had a 45-minute break essentially before the film actually started, and normally that would be chock-a-block, and there was only about 3 or 4 films. I think Willy Wonka was there, and I think I'll definitely watch that one. That looks like a good one. Anyway, so the point is that in this tumultuous times, yeah, in these tumultuous times when there is so much going on, one of the saving graces for humanity is going to be creativity, like Leo, singing, dancing, artwork, performing, whatever it is, personal sovereignty, like I said, and discernment, taking in information from lots of different directions and then filtering it, not just through the intellect, but through the heart and the third eye. When you do that together, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. And of course, humor as well. Humor, laughter. Laughter is more important than ever. And I'll never forget something, and I might repeat this again on Hogarth. Something Sir Winston Churchill said. Now, we know he wasn't a perfect man, but he was an exceptionally intelligent man and a fabulous writer, of course, and PM and all this kind of stuff with the UK. Anyway, but the point is this. He said, when you make somebody laugh, you give that person a holiday. Isn't that a beautiful saying? When you make a person laugh, you give that person a holiday. And I know definitely that's something that a lot of people that are fans of Hogarth and stuff like that, you know, that's a part of the show that they really enjoy. Look, we know sometimes the humor is a little bit naughty, a little bit near the bone. Not necessarily everyone always agrees, but it's spontaneous, it's fresh, and it's genuine. It comes from a genuine place. It's not planned. You know, I just read out questions and we just kind of go for it. But I think one of the things, particularly with the last Hogarth, that a lot of people wrote in the comments, they said, thank you for the laughs. You know, that really lifted my day. I was having a really dark or challenging day, and those laughs really lifted me, even if they were absurd and a bit naughty, you know. But still, it's worth it. It's worth it, because we're going through these intense times of transformation, because of course Pluto is in sidereal Capricorn, changing everything up. So the antidote, shall we say, to this, of course, is for everyone to really start getting creative, develop their internal sovereignty, where they're not just accepting a narrative from whichever direction it comes from. I'm not going to point out names or sides or whatever. Question everything. Yeah, even what I'm saying, I don't mind being questioned. I mean, obviously, if someone writes me a sour plum email, you know, I'm going to write back, and you're probably going to get a little bit, not too much sass, but you'll get a response. But the point is that question everything. It's already happening, but you'll see as back end of August, going into September, then September into October, November, December, then the nodes of the moon are going to change. On the 29th of November, the nodes of the moon are going to change. Rahu's going to be in sidereal Pisces. Ketu's going to be in sidereal Virgo. There's going to be a big shift, and there's going to be some unexpected things. So this Lion's Gate is going to be having a lot to do with leadership. So they're going to be, some people's leadership will come to an end, new leaders will come in, or there'll be new perspectives on leaders that we didn't know before, particularly with that Venus retrograde as well, which also deals with business and relationships and stuff like that. So before I totter off, let's present, let me share my screen with you. Hopefully look at this. Do you see how much this is chopping up? It's ridiculous. I don't know how that's going to work once Mercury retrograde is here. God, can you imagine on top of that, once we hit early September? It's going to be dreadful. So let's see here. Let's put here, entire screen, click that, share. Come on. All right. Now, let's get, I don't know what's going on. My computer's not normally like this. Anyway, what can I do? I've just got to go with how things are, folks. So apologies. Now, let's move this a little. Oh, there we go. Come on. Oh, for heaven's sake. I'm trying to get, come on. Oh, there we are. Just getting that a bit bigger. Wow. God, just trying to do all these memories. Do you remember this memory from? Sorry, folks. All right, let's go with that. Let's just, there we are. Maybe I can get that to go a little bit. There we are. Right. So here we are. As you can see, this chart is from today. Yeah, this is where the planets are sidereally right now. You will see here, of course, that Pluto is retrograde at 4 degrees 30 minutes of sidereal Capricorn. Of course, in Western astrology, they were saying that Pluto just tipped over into Aquarius, which it did, but it's now retrograded back. So in both systems, Capricorn is in the same sign, but you can see the degree is much different. This is a long transit, guys. It's a long transit, a lot of transformation here. We will see here is Saturn at 10 degrees 56 minutes of sidereal Aquarius, which is known as his Mulla Trachona sign, which means it's his office. Saturn is incredibly powerful in the sign of Aquarius, and even more powerful when he's retrograde. This is why you're seeing, as I predicted, a lot of people being held to account. You know, Duc Larange, you know, Saturn moved into sidereal Aquarius on the 17th of January 2023 this year. And as you know, I said we're going to see step ups in technology, changes in rules and regulations from government, people being held to account, etc. But it's happening all at the same time, all at once, from multiple directions. So there's many sources of information that are coming out. And of course, Aquarius deals with what? The sky. And it also deals with aliens, yeah? Outer space, all of that kind of stuff. And that, of course, we've seen a lot in the news. What's going to happen is Saturn is going to retrograde back to around about 7/8 degrees, which is going to be right on top of the USA's moon. And this is peak Sadi Sati, yeah, peak Sadi Sati. So this is when basically Saturn is one sign from the moon, with the moon, and one sign after. Now, of course, this is the chart for today, but America's moon sits around about 7 degrees, yeah, 7 degrees of sidereal Aquarius. So this is a real pressure time, of course, for America, yeah, a time of trials, which is, you don't need me to tell you that, it's very obvious. Here we see Neptune is in his own sign, in Pisces, retrograde, yeah, with Chiron. So again, there's going to be a review, revise, reassessment over narratives. in my new book that I've just finished, and as you know, I'm doing the final edits, and then I'm going to send it out to people to read. I refer to Neptune as the wizard of storytelling. Yeah, he's all about narratives. Can be spiritual narratives, can be amazing narratives, can be musical narratives, but sometimes it's, well, quite often it is about lies and deception. Yeah, he's also the planet of gaslighting. He's retrograde. So there's going to be a review, revise, reassessment. Look at a lot of people that are waking up, particularly in the MAGA crowd. Yeah, they're kind of having to kind of wake up to certain things as well. But this will be blanket, and not just in America, of course, all around the world simultaneously. We see here that Rahu, Jupiter, and Uranus are all together in sidereal Aries. So this, I mean, we could even have like some earthquake action. We already know that the weather has been scorching hot. And do you remember I said, look, Jupiter is a fiery, known as a wet, fiery planet in the sign of Aries. I said, we're probably going to see some heat waves and stuff like that. They may abate somewhat once Jupiter starts going retrograde. So he's going to start going retrograde. Oh, crumbs. He goes, it's on the 5th of September. So we're going to be going into the fall, of course. So maybe it's not rocket science to be able to predict, oh, temperatures might fall a bit, obviously. But literally with the retrograde motion of Jupiter in sidereal Aries, that should start to calm down the heat a bit. But I did say we get record temperatures, and I think I also said as well, when Mars entered sidereal Leo, which he did a few weeks ago, that's when things really burnt up, because Mars is a fiery planet. Here he's exceptionally strong in the fire sign of Leo, which we can see here. So everything's been burning up, the oceans, everyone's boiling. All of America has just been on these heat things. You've seen what's happened in Europe. And guess what? UK's been a damp squib. Except today, I was out with my friend Tara today, and we went, where did we go? We were in Richmond. We were in Richmond, and we were right on the Thames eating. We dined out on this boat, which was also a restaurant, and it was wonderful. I'll send maybe do some photographs or something like that of that, and maybe share some of those pictures. But it was gorgeous. So I hope it lasts. But anyway, so look, this is the action over here. So look, here's Venus retrograde. She's now gone back, moved back so far. She's now in sidereal Cancer, as you can see here. Here's the sign of Cancer. There is Venus, the glyph of Venus, and you can see the retrograde R next to her. There is the sun at 22 degrees 54 minutes. The sun moves a degree every day. So by the time we get, like I said, to sort of like the middle of August, he will cross into sidereal Leo. And that could heat things up even more, by the way, because you can imagine he's in his own sign. But here's Venus here. So for people personally, how that could potentially affect you, multifaceted. Venus is a planet of money and finance and business as well. We must remember that. She is a business planet. I'm often saying to people, don't forget, Mercury, Saturn, Venus are planets of finance. And Jupiter also deals with the economy as well. And he deals with liquidity and confidence in the market. So you can imagine when he starts going retrograde, in September, we might have some stories again, like, oh, maybe the market's not doing so well, or maybe the USA economy is okay, but the global market might slow down a bit. And, you know, as for the UK, we're almost certain to go into recession because we know our economy has been shot to bits by those douchebags. But anyway, probably more on that on Thursday Fry Up. So here as well, this can affect relationships, marriage. Yeah, some of my clients, I won't name names, but they have been considering some of their long-term relationships, marriages, partnerships, and stuff like that, because retrograde, review, revise, reassess. So many of you may be reassessing your relationships, even friendships, particularly with women in your life as well. Could be the sister, could be aunts, could be the mother, even though the moon is the mother. But really, this could also talk about things like that. Also as well, I don't know if it's the same for you guys. Let me know in the comments. People can come back from the past. Do you know how many people have got in touch with me? Like, my diary is like getting full because everyone wants to meet up. Like, hey, long time no see. And it's like 7 or 8 friends. And people that I know have been coming back into my life all at the same time. And I've literally had to be like this. I'm even gonna go to a workplace reunion. Well, it's a workplace staff party, but I'm gonna go to that staff party, even though I've not worked at my work for a few years now. But it's just to kind of, you know, touch base, catch up with everyone. And I was just thinking, oh, of course, it's Venus retrograde. That's a perfect time to, you know, revisit old relationships, old friends, or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So many of you will be experiencing those kinds of energies for sure. So of course we have to watch this space. Now look, what I'm going to show you here, let's do the animated transits. So you see here, and I'll show you when more planets go retrograde. So if you just keep looking here, you're going to see the planets go clockwise and the nodes go anti-clockwise. Let's put this onto weekly and let's just click forward, and I want to show you when Uranus goes retrograde, which isn't too far away from now. Let's just see, there we can see that's the Mercury retrograde, which has started on the 23rd, well, probably, but yeah, on the 23rd. Let's keep going. There we are. So if we look here, by the time we're at the end of August, we can see here Uranus has gone retrograde. Let's do daily and click back and see if I can give you that exact date. There we go. So look at that. So on the 29th of August, as we can see, that's when Uranus starts going retrograde. So we'll have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Venus, and Mercury all retrograde. Yeah, by the 29th of August. Right, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. Let's click forward a week, and there we can see Jupiter on the 5th. Let's do daily to make sure it is that 5th. Oh, it's looking like, oh, so look, call it. You can even call it the 4th. So, and if we go to the 3rd, yeah, so you can see on the 3rd, Venus is retrograde. 4th, you see that R has left, but Jupiter is retrograde. But really, remember, Venus is standing still. So then it becomes Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, Mercury, and Venus standing still on the 4th. So the 4th/5th, there's so many things that could happen. Reassessments of relationships, narrative, business, leadership. Of course, at that point, you can see here, the sun has entered sidereal Leo at that point. In fact, let's go back weekly to give you the date when the sun enters sidereal. Oh, there it is there. Let's do daily. I can give you that date. It should be the 15th or the 16th. Oh, there it is, the 16th. It's still, so look, pretty much between the 16th and the 17th of August 2023, that's when the sun is going to be entering sidereal Leo. So then we might even have bigger news as well. If we look here, we can see the moon is here, Mars is there just at the end of the house with Mercury. So there could be even bigger news about leaders at that point as well. So I just wanted to give an idea of the weather there. So let's close, let's stop the share, and let's minimize this here because I don't want this video to be too long. We go back to that. So you can see, guys, how this energy is developing. I think this is also as well why so many of us having issues with our digital networks connections, because you can see there's that pulling back. So this Mercury retrograde could be a real humdinger. A lot of us YouTubers and even like people on the mainstream news might be struggling with their feeds. There could be interesting stories that come out. This also suggests that many narratives will be reversing as well. There could be some real surprises going on, but let's just see. And then towards the, and I'll talk about the nodes closer to the time, but 29th of November, the nodes change sign as well. So there's a lot going on. But just to encapsulate that all, the veil is very thin. This is a great time to develop your spiritual work, your heart chakra work. But this is really also about becoming one's inner leader even more so. We're having to step out into a future where we're taking more personal autonomy in terms of what we believe going forward, and we're going to be less reliant on official narratives, shall we say. People are going to be questioning things a lot more, particularly as well towards the end of the year and then going into 2024 and 2025. 2024, obviously, with the election coming up, is going to be one of the most impactful and potentially tumultuous years on planet Earth. Really is. So we're going to be seeing lots of stuff to do with leaders, and we're going to have to be able to more and more be able to lead ourselves and our families and our friends based, again, like I said, on heart chakra, the intellect, and the third eye. Yeah, and when those are combined, that is when a person has the best chance of really being able to discern and authenticate that which is true and that which is false. So let's just leave it there. I hope you found that interesting. Not too long a video, coming up to 36 minutes. So I will see you guys on Fry Up Thursdays tomorrow. So some of the Hogarth questions and then going over some of those things that I said. I'll do that as a live. This is just a direct recording, as I need to get busy for tomorrow's clients. And of course, if you'd like a consultation with me, then please visit the hogarthglobalastrology.com. You can find all of my stuff there. The details will be put in the video below once this is up. And yeah, it's I really look forward. I love reading people's charts, helping people out, helping them identify their goals and life purpose in these very unusual times. So I will leave it there, folks. Much love. And thank you as well for all of the support. And thank you so much as well if you've been enjoying the laughs. And don't forget to like and subscribe, click the bell notification, and all that stuff, all that jazz. All right. Bye-bye for now. All right. See you soon.